Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high-level StarCraft 2 game. In the bottom right today, spawning as the red Terran player, playing for Team NV. It's Bunny. And in the top left, as the blue Terran, playing for Shopify Rebellions, it's ByuN. ByuN is sending out his first two SCVs here on the map. Actually pokes in to see the tower. Cute little move there. If his opponent was also doing some type of proxy, would have been able to see, hey, we're both doing a proxy, and then perhaps ByuN could have not done the proxy. And it would have been nice. You just do the proxy at home, and then you defend, and you have a little bit more mining time going than your opponent. It's not the case here. His first barracks goes down. Could technically still be 2 Rex Marauder as well, depending a bit on where that second barracks is going to get thrown down. These are fast barracks. Fast barracks. 14 supply. That must have been like a... Okay, I'm not super familiar with the early game in TVT and when it comes to the build orders, but I am familiar, of course, with the timings of when buildings are supposed to finish. So the first barracks with a regular 14 depot, 16 barracks, when the barracks is built at home, will finish at 127, 128. This barracks finished at 124. That is very quick. The second barracks is going to finish at what, 136? No, a bit later, 140. I also believe this is quite quick. I didn't know that this was the case when you played Proxy Reaper, that you cut this many workers to get them out this fast. Must be 13 depot in that case, or even 12 depot. Gonna have to look at that afterwards. Anyway, we have a Reaper, well, this is not just light pressure, this is some serious pressure, alright? Some very serious pressure. Light pressure would be someone poking you with a finger. This is when they're holding your leg with 2 hands and both of their thumbs are kind of pressing on one spot. And if there's a bruise on that spot, it's going to hurt. Now we're gonna figure out if Bunny has any bruises on his legs, or if he's going to be absolutely fine when someone does this double thumb move. Decent first grenade here out of Bunny. Can't really afford to lose any units before the bunker goes up. Second Marine's also in production. Of course, ByuN is too afraid to truly jump up this ramp. But with 3 Reaper... Oh my god, that was a cancel there on the bunker. First Marine's going to get taken out. That Reaper can... If that Reaper dies, the game could just end. 2 workers are going to fall so far. I think we might get a... no third. 1 Reaper falls on the side of Bunny though. And as long as this bad boy stays alive, I actually think this is a pretty decent trade here for ByuN. ByuN, of course, initially when he got very well known for his Reaper micro more so than anything else. I remember in TVZ he was basically unbeatable with that 3 Rex Reaper opener. Nowadays, of course, it doesn't really exist anymore, although some people sure do try to make it work. I think I even saw ByuN try it a while ago. You know, Cure's been playing some 2 Rex Proxy Reaper. It's a little bit different, but quite similar anyway. 4 Reapers into the main base, good grenade usage, and of course this is played on the Korean server, and both players have very low ping. There goes a Hellion. Hop! Oh, 2 more Hellions actually getting semi-surrounded here. Huge control here, huge control. Oh, the last Reaper was a little bit painful. If he doesn't lose that Reaper, I actually believe that... well, no, he lost 2 more Reapers. Well, that was a little bit painful. It started so good. And it could have ended so good as well. He could have had 2 more Reapers alive. And in that case, I think he might have just been capable of cancelling that starport another time. CC is being built on the low ground here for ByuN. He's also getting a Cyclone behind this. Ooh, that's a painful jump. It's going to end up losing 1 Reaper. Hellion is trying to struggle through. Will not quite get there in time, though. I think he won't. No, he won't. Only hitting that back Reaper with his flamethrower. As Bunny's command center is now flying down towards the natural, doesn't morph it into an orbital quite yet, as he wants to saturate the net as fast as possible. This SCV is going to get blasted here by these Reapers. Fun fact is that there's a hidden spot here at this tower where you can hide a worker in, and you can't see it. So yeah, it could have been useful here for Bunny. If you want to save that worker. Oh, just gets the lock on the barracks. The same time ByuN moves forward. And as a result, ByuN almost completely kills this Cyclone. Actually, he's just going to kill this Cyclone. This was a really good trade once again for ByuN. I feel like even though ByuN has basically been hard countered here, double gas, and scouted out of Bunny. Like, that's as good as it's going to get, but it just feels like ByuN is out microing his opponent by quite a bit, honestly. And as I say that, he's gonna lose a Cyclone. Almost caught the Raven, though. In the end, maybe the straight wasn't so good. He also a bit sloppy with the macro, huh? He's floating almost 900 minerals while on one base. Immediately throws down another barracks, goes for another command center as well. The second CC is now finishing up. If he builds a marine from this, I'll actually be upset. Oh, I'm actually upset. Good. Less upset now. Second Raven on the way already for Bunny. Very important that you keep these Ravens alive, and also extremely important that they start kind of acquiring an energy bank here. So that's often what it's all about in TVT, in that early phase of the mid game. And even in the later phases of the mid game. And honestly, even in the late game. The Raven is just a really important unit. See ByuN loading up 2 Cyclones into a medevac. Should not be capable of doing too much. I mean, there's plenty of units around. There's no interference quite yet. In a couple of seconds there will be, though, by the time this medevac arrives, perhaps. I'll get 2 shots on the Cyclone. We'll take them out of their misery that we call life. Of course, they're robots. They don't really have feelings like we do. So we can put them in medevacs and drop them in tank range. That's what I'm saying. That sounded a bit cruel, but Cyclone's gonna lock onto an SCV that's the second after it got locked onto, moved into the refinery. And poof, one of these SCVs gets taken out. Cute little harass, but 1 Cyclone for 1 SCV is not a good trade. This tank also is getting a little bit too excited. It's probably either the wife or the husband of the Cyclone that just died. Don't hold me back! Start rolling her across the map. No one actually held this fella back. I was just waiting at the watchtower. No, in the rage he got very far, but then he realized there, well, there's actually no way that I'm gonna get up this ramp. You know, let me just see if I can find another mate. He's like, oh, Frank, you're so nice to me. There's a little tank pair. Very cute. I hope they make it out together, but I have my doubts. Wait, what are we looking at again? Stim finishing at almost the same time. It's funny how games can be so wild and chaotic in the early game, and then still you have like these mirror-like elements when it comes to Stim timing. We see the upgrades are relatively close to one another as well. ByuN perhaps a little bit slower with these extra barracks, but let's not let that spoil the party. This Cyclone's still going in, trying to revenge his mate. He's gonna start hitting this depot really hard. It's like the guys that when they get angry, they start kicking the walls. Like, I'm sure it feels good, but the wall is more likely to do damage to you than the other way around, my friend. Oh, the tanks got split again. One tank stuck at the watchtower and now has another friend. So these 2 medevacs are going to drop into the main base. There's actually nothing in the main base here for Bunny. Bunny not quite expecting this wild move out of ByuN, who sieges up with, what is it, about 12 Marines. Of course, with interference matrix, as well as a couple of auto turrets, this should be cleaned up relatively easily. ByuN, however, going for a snipe potentially on a Raven, will not quite get it. Does force out 2-3 more auto turrets, though. The boost will be available soon as well. This was, I think, a good trade here for ByuN. Although he lost a fair amount, he did quite some damage. SCV count-wise, I think he forced a cancel on 2 barracks. And he wasted a lot of energy on the Raven. So, yeah, altogether, I'd say this was definitely a big plus here for the Shopify Terran. Well, that was less of a big plus, as he lost all of his Marines and just started a fire in a refinery. First of all, let's talk a little bit about the work safety here. I mean, the working environment that these SCVs are in cannot be considered safe if the mine you're going in is on freaking fire. I guess they don't really care. Ooh, ByuN once again tried to go for a sneaky attack. It's not quite going to work out though. Another 75 Raven energy has been, well, not quite wasted, I wouldn't call it that. I mean, it was used and it was useful, but it is energy that won't be there in the future fight. And ByuN's been playing largely without Ravens, and so far it's been working out. It really has been. Maybe with Ravens he would have won the game twice already. Who knows? Oh, moves a little bit too far forward there with the tank. I think a scan should have scanned that slightly earlier, I think. Missed targets as well. Could have definitely killed this one tank. Didn't end up doing it. The refinery is going to get taken out. As these SCVs, well, they're not repairing it quite yet. Little attack here from ByuN on that right side as well. Lots of Marines in this army. Not too many tanks. And it's going to once again get cleaned up. Tank will fall. And so will this. Oh, refinery gets repaired in the dying seconds there. Very cute. I feel like if a refinery blows up, one of the things that should happen is the SCVs that are inside should also blow up. I think that's only fair. It makes a lot of sense. How can a refinery blow up and then the guy that's inside just walk out? Hey, hello? ByuN, even though he doesn't necessarily have any lead, is always the one in control in this game. See that? He's on the map. Oh, this is a load up. Holy crap. If you look at this medevac with a bit too much power, it might just fall out of the sky. Yeah, it's 11 HP, 8 Marines in there. Joe, you're taking the plane that's half on fire and only has 1/3 of an engine left. Alright, sounds good. Start moving toward the far right side. I would not want to be in there, I'll tell you that much. Bunny wants to try to clear up the watchtower in the middle, is not quite going to succeed. Yeah, and every single medevac here died to 2 Vikings and 2 Ravens. I think there was 3 medevacs that just got clean. It's a lot of Marines. ByuN just doesn't really seem to care what the state of the game is. If he can hit the stim button and he can scan forward, he wants to go. It's like a compulsion almost. And he still has control of the watchtower, but I think he might just start losing that in a couple of seconds from now. Bunny starts his +3 armor first. Oh no, sorry, it's ByuN starting his +3 armor first. That's an absolute classic at this point. ByuN is starting armor before attack upgrades. Oh, once again, stims forward. Anti-armor missile is going to hit. Tanks in the back are going to deal a fair amount of damage. It actually was an okay fight for ByuN. I'm not quite sure how he does it, but he does end up doing it. There's no real tanks in position here. Look at that. ByuN has like no defense whatsoever anywhere. The moment Bunny actually starts attacking, ByuN's going to be in major trouble. He has nothing in the main base. There's no tank at the third. There's no turrets in the main either. 2 more starports on the way right now for ByuN. So the setup is going to be... Is he 2 factory or single factory? Okay, 2 factory, 5 racks, triple starport. I do like that setup a lot generally. I think it's good. I don't quite understand why ByuN is always the one that's attacking. I mean, tank count is even. Right now, ByuN also managed to carve out a bit of a Viking lead for himself. So he has that air control. He's getting 2 extra of these starports as well. And the starports coming out of Bunny are going to be delayed. Because Bunny opted to go for 3 extra barracks over the starport. So we have 8 barracks versus 5 barracks and faster starports. Interesting to see. These tanks are moving forward and we'll start... can't you hit the tank? Feels like this tank is in range, no? Maybe I'm going wild. Oh. Yeah. What? Did it just unsiege while this tank was in range? Oh, it was this tank. What was shooting at the tank? Interesting scans here as the CC is getting shelled out. Another tank gets taken out. As Bunny just recently regained the air lead and now immediately lost it again. ByuN will be happy to claim this as a victory. These 2 tanks are dealing a fair amount of damage. We have a triple drop heading towards the main base. Gets denied though by good movement out of Bunny. Man, ByuN seems like absolute hell to play against in this matchup. This guy just loads up a random amount of medevacs and starts boosting somewhere. Doesn't really care if you're ready or not. But if you're ready, he'll go home. +3 armor just finishes up now for ByuN. +3 attack starting just now as well. And with that +3 armor, he actually wants to take a fight. I'm not quite sure if he can though. ByuN believes he can. I don't believe he can. This planetary is also helping out. This is a terrible trade. At the same time, he's still shelling away at this command center. But with the air superiority going back to Bunny, and with Bunny starting to pump out a couple of lips here, it would not surprise me at all if Bunny tries to clear this position. That's exactly what he's doing right now. 2 tanks are still standing, better than they ever did, but they also fall. 5 tanks on the high ground will start shelling away at these Marines, and the Liberator should come in to push this away as well. Looks good, looks good. Corvette Reactor finishes up for ByuN. So ByuN going for a more sophisticated type of army. With them Ravens, a couple of Vikings of course will also be in there, but a Raven Viking army against this this more caveman style of Bunny, right? Like, well, actually Bunny also is getting 2 tech labs here, so also wants to be getting Ravens. I thought these already had reactors on them, because all he had been producing is Vikings and Lips so far, but he probably completely forgot about the fact that he had these starports. Worker count is pretty close. It's been a great game, by the way. Just absolutely fantastic. Very back and forth, extremely action-packed. Doesn't feel like we're only 16 minutes in. They said to be fair, TVTs tend to be a little bit dull. No offense to all Terran players, but they do tend to be a little bit slow. I feel like we have had more action in this TVT than in the past 5 TVTs combined. ByuN is making this a game for sure. Double Liberator and Harass on these outside bases. ByuN decided to just build a turret underneath one. It's an interesting way of dealing with a problem. At the same time, Bunny managed to finally run into a position where, well, once again, ByuN didn't really defend anything this entire game. Double Interference Matrix is definitely going to help out one Aldo turret as well. Reinforcement line is going to get cut off as Bunny is still moving forward. His +3 attack has already finished at this point. Another tank gets taken out and keeps on going. Starts dropping into the main base. Accidentally leaves one Marine behind. Look at that one, Kerrigan. As this Raven also gets blasted. I think this was a good trade for Bunny. Bunny wants to take out his command center, so I think he might just be capable of. As ByuN says, you know what, you're dealing damage to me, and rather than defending, what I'm going to do is I'm just straight up going to start moving across the map. That doesn't quite work, because Bunny still has these Marines over here. Can just load up one more time and kind of boost away into the main base. Now ByuN's like, alright, that's boring. Let me actually fix this. Let me fix this problem, and drops a couple of Marines on that high ground. Should be fine for now. At the same time, ByuN starts moving forward once again. There's still 2 tanks here that are kind of standing in no man's land. It's Bunny expanding on top of this like ramp-like structure, basically. Well, we have ByuN on the low ground. Bunny had a way higher worker count as well. He's getting another command center currently. And getting the, what is this called? Neo Steel Armor. Increases the cargo space of bunkers by 2. But of course he gets it for the armor. I don't actually think he cares very much about the cargo space of the bunkers. This is one of the things that your employees want, so they can sit with more people around and drink coffee with multiple Marines. It's not actually that useful though. Like for people to ask for a gym at their work, you know. They go spinning or something in their lunch break. Yeah, it makes your employees happy, but I truly do wonder if it increases productivity. You can't have a good mind after you do some heavy cardio for like an hour in your lunch break, skipping lunch as well, because you want to go in some like type of keto state or something like that. This is why personally I never get Neo Steel Armor. I don't think these Marines can function quite as well if they've been sitting around drinking coffee with their mates in the bunker the entire time. I'd be a terrible employer. If I ever get a company, you will not want to work for me. That'd be awful. ByuN has the middle tower currently occupied. Once again, by the way. It's really crazy. This is... I've recently been getting kind of to the conclusion that the thing that really sets ByuN apart in his games is his unit movement and his way to... I'm not even quite sure how to explain it, but he can force you to play defensive even if there is no reason for you to be defensive. Like, he kind of has this innate ability to make it look like he's ahead. And it makes absolutely no sense. He's always the aggressive one, almost always the aggressive one, and he just makes you feel like such a loser defending. It's crazy to watch. His TVPs are amazing as well, and apparently he can also just do it in TVT. TVZ, of course, it's a little more difficult, because every Terran tends to just be on the map the entire time, because you kind of have to. But watching him play is just so much fun. He reminds me a little bit of MaxPax at times. MaxPax plays a lot like this as well, so we have a big engagement in the middle right now. A couple of auto turrets coming down. Air control heavily in favor of ByuN, who has 11 Vikings and 6 Ravens against the 6 Vikings and 5 Ravens for Bunny. Oh, a couple of interference matrices. I think that X turns into a C there. For whatever reason, Bunny's gonna move forward. 5 interference matrices. And he will actually clean up this entire tank line. At the same time, ByuN's coming in with a marine flank. I'm not quite sure if this was intended as a flank, or if these are getting sacrificed for the greater good. Ooh, that's a lot of stims on this army. I think these marines are a little bit too low to take a fight quite like this. They definitely were. As ByuN, I think, ends up coming victorious out of this fight. He has a large air lead. Problem being that his tank count has been decimated. His marine count is still fairly high, so that's nice. But he also lost the watchtower, which is such an important part in this matchup on this map. Of course, ByuN has figured a way around it though, because his opponent took out the rocks earlier. And now ByuN's actually going to start moving into position, and Bunny's like, hey, wait a second, I also want to defend. Couple of interference matrices will go down on these tanks. Auto turrets also being plopped out of the sky. The Vikings are going to land as well, and we'll take out this entire tank line. Turret here is firing on these medevacs. Earlier was firing on the Vikings, of course. ByuN does it again. Breaks this position. And now we'll need to start looking at getting another base. Once again, that topside base at 12 o'clock. Don't quite think he can get that. There's a lot of money in the bank still for Bunny. There's a single tank here who's going to siege up. But by the time he's done sieging, he's dead. Doesn't get a single shot in. So this drop might just take out a couple of reactors and tech labs, which is always a good thing. Maybe just go for the actual starport, I was thinking. It would be a lot better. Medevac here is completely empty. It's not going to be useful. Will not be assisting the Marines of Bunny in that main base. It felt like every single time Bunny did anything aggressive, it did a lot of damage though. Feels like he should have tried to kind of keep that vibe going. If you ask me, ByuN once again in a very forward position. Could just start moving in whenever he wants to, I think. I think he has plenty of interference matrices to start casting those. On this, this triple tank line. Should be doable, no? Also wouldn't mind a single Liberator here. Oh, there they go. 3 tanks move forward and this tank line gets absolutely annihilated. Same time this base also falls. And this is what I was talking about, is that every single time that Bunny is attacking, ByuN is just in a world of trouble. Like, ByuN is great at attacking himself, but his defense often looking very, very sloppy. Scan forward. What do you see? A bunch of tanks. Did he just kill legit 2 command? Okay, no, this one floated away. Oh, this is also going to die. Bunny actually dealing a lot of damage here. There is 1 tank in position. I don't think this is in time though. Oh, gets only 1 shot off. That's not enough. These Marines once again are going to survive. There's triple medevacs with this. There's 7 Marines. That's a lot of Marine. Don't forget there's only 5 barracks Marine production. Honestly, these Marines are doing a fair amount of damage. If they were being controlled slightly better, there could be something. At the same time, I missed the entire fight as well. I'm sorry for that. I think a lot of the Ravens and Vikings went down. ByuN all of a sudden looking to be in a pretty bad spot. Maybe the way to beat ByuN is to just be aggressive yourself, so rather than defending the entire time, because then he starts making mistakes. I mean, he must have taken one hell of a bad fight. I'm kind of sad we might have missed the game-ending fight, but at the same time, that drop is probably also what ByuN was looking at, and that's why that fight went so well. So I kind of gave you the ByuN experience here, is what I'm trying to say. So you guys should be grateful, if anything. Decent scan here. Ooh. Bunny moving forward. Start shelling away once again at these Marines. And this finally does get cleaned up. Triple medevac can of course still fly home. 18 workers went down on the side of Bunny. Sorry, 16 went down on the side of Bunny. 18 on the side of ByuN. Who's mining from more bases right now? So ByuN has this middle base that he's mining from. This left side is like a 4-patcher at this point. This is about a 6-patcher, 4-patcher. entire base. Bunny looking slightly better when it comes to the amount of bases he's mining from. Worker-wise also looking slightly healthier. This fight can be the final fight. Actually, it will be the final fight, I think, as Bunny's just gonna siege up absolutely everything. Liberators in the mix as well. All the turrets are being used here for ByuN. ByuN actually might be semi-holding this. This one Liberator, though, is being extremely annoying. Another tank's going to get taken out here. 12 workers have gone down somewhere at the same time. Bet it has something to do with this Liberator that is sieged here on top of this planetary. GG gets called, though. Bunny wins the game here against ByuN. What a banger of a game. Felt like ByuN this entire game was either in the lead or at least being aggressive. And then Bunny said, I've had enough. Goes for a triple drop. Wins a fight that we missed and kind of wins the game. Sick. Really sick game. I want to see that star, though. I want to see what the timing is on that first depot. I'm kind of interested. Looked like a cool little build order. I almost forgot that this started with a freaking double proxy racks on Pride of Altaris. That's kind of wild. Okay, so you go at least for 13. 13 depot. Okay, 13 depot. Then you go 14 barracks, 14 gas. 14 barracks. Okay, cool. Well, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. I hope you had a great time. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I'll see all of you all next time for a new video. Bye-bye.